Okay, so here's the deal, my friends. Anything I'm about to tell you is probably going to change in the next 24 hours, and the information you get in the next 24 hours will change in the next 48 hours. Because ever since last week's SmackDown, WWE has gone completely crazy. And while a lot of it is 2 + 2 = potato, it makes no sense. Gotta be honest with you, just having the best time, because it's oh so silly. Here is the latest details courtesy of Dave Meltzer. At least he has hinted at that. Again, there is so much conflicting details out there, it's kind of hard to make heads or tails of it. But one of the rumors from a couple of days ago, again, look how quickly it does shift, was that Ariel Emanuel, who is in charge of Endeavor, The Rock, and Nick Khan, they got together, they came up with this Royal Rumble deal, which is why, bear with me, Triple H booked Cody Rhodes to win the Royal Rumble, which is why it felt like we were going to do Cody versus Roman Reigns. Then The Rock came back, and one Paul Levesque was like, oh, I didn't know this was going to happen, everybody breathe. Well, now Uncle Dave has told us that's not true, and since day one, Triple H was aware of this. He was part of the negotiation team, meaning from early January, even though the American Nightmare did win the 30-man over-the-top rope battle shimmer gig, The Rock was always coming back to take on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. So look, if this has completely blitzed your mind, I totally understand it. As I keep on saying and will say again, just love the fact they're doing it, because it's absolutely nuts. But it does mean that given the word mess has been thrown around a lot, the WWE intentionally wanted to do this. That's right, they wanted to collect all of this hoo-ha on social media, and now they're all like, I don't know, patting each other on the back like they're Barry Horowitz. Don't tell him, he'll get mad. As always, you're allowed to believe that or disbelieve that. There is a part of me, this part right here, that probably thinks WWE didn't think it was going to get this out of control, and now, I suppose kind of smartly, have turned it into a work, even though originally it was a shoot. Or maybe it was a shoot to us, and now we've been worked into a work. I mean, usually this is when we have to ask Hulk Hogan, but I don't think we should do that. And if you're wondering why on earth they would want to do this to begin with, well, I think there's a couple of points. The first being, they probably wanted a little bit of a distraction. I'm sure you can figure out why, because of course there are those Vince McMahon allegations out there, which are still totally deplorable to read. And look, in terms of getting to people to stop talking about that, it has worked. But also don't forget, as soon as more news does break about that story, of course we're going to start chatting about it again. It's really important we see that through to the end. And the other, of course, point two, is that they want to turn WrestleMania 40 into one of the biggest events ever. And let's just be totally honest here. I want to make it very clear, I love Cody Rhodes, he's a hero of mine, and he's a damn inspiration. But when it comes to Dwayne Johnson, and when it comes to The Rock, he is not only a massive wrestling star to wrestling fans, but he is a super duper mega star in the mainstream. I've already had people texting me going, lol, what is The Rock doing? Or as I've informed you before, my mum messaging me and saying, oh, the actor is wrestling again. I have to be like, why are you letting the family down? It's every time I get to say that to her, usually she's saying it to me. So from my vantage point, I really do need to know what the end goal is here, because I was convinced that everything we had done at WrestleMania 39 was brilliant, because Cody Rhodes was going to go on to WrestleMania 40, and he would then beat Roman Reigns for the Super Duper Universal Championship. And as I also mentioned on a recent video, even I have flip-flopped on that now, because what we're doing at the moment would have been so much better if Cody had just won 12 minutes ago. However, that didn't happen, so now we got to try and figure it out. And the big one, of course, is to add Cody Rhodes into the Rock versus Roman Reigns match, which at the moment we are 99% sure is happening, but it hasn't been made official. When you actually watch Raw this week, it didn't seem to me like WWE wanted to head in that direction. I mean, if anything, it sounded like if we were going to do a triple threat, it'd be for the World Heavyweight Championship. It'd be Cody versus Drew versus Seth. I'm not going to pretend that I don't want to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Of course I do. You could argue that's the biggest match that WWE has in their back pocket. It's just the timing isn't great. But when you do take in that maybe they wanted this to happen, I don't know, man. Why would you tell a story for 2 years and then deviate at the last hurdle? You know what I'm going to say here, and you're allowed to reach into the screen and punch me right in the face, but in this instance, I do think it's true. We're going to have to see how it all plays out. Because while I still do think this has been a little bit of a mess, to use that word again, if Roman Reigns defeats The Rock at WrestleMania, and Cody Rhodes defeats Seth Rollins, and then we get to SummerSlam, which of course is an event that WWE wants to be like hot time WrestleMania, and you do a unification belt, and Cody wins everything, well, I think I actually would be quite satisfied in my tum-tum. I'd probably cry. There's nothing wrong with that. We have tears for a reason. As a counterpoint, as always, because I am playing wrestling tennis with myself, I still think it would have been so much better if maybe last August we would have known that Dwayne Johnson was coming in, because we could have retroactively moved things around. I guess it all depends on what you want from your wrestling. And this is when the other piece of information comes into play, because WWE allegedly did sit down and think, well, if we do this, it will turn Cody Rhodes into an even bigger babyface than he already is. And that has worked. I mean, even the naysayers on the internet who used to go, oh man, I don't like Cody, well, they're now in love with him too. This was the right decision to make. I don't want this idea of, oh, we're trying to Daniel Bryan him, because that doesn't make any sense. Because when Daniel Bryan deserved his push, he wasn't winning the Royal Rumble. And actually, if I am going to crumble about anything, it is going to be that. Because one thing this whole shaboodle has definitely done, it's made the Royal Rumble look a bit dumb. I mean, like, why would the Royal Rumble win and go, oh, I've got my opportunity and now I'm just going to whiz it down the toilet? When it comes to stipulation, that one, WWE more or less, has always kept pretty damn tight, so I don't want to wash it away now. So hopefully that's entering into people's brains too. I mean, look at the money in the bank. That used to be the best idea ever. Now people complain about it. As much as I like Damian Priest, he has done some silly things. Don't start doing that with no Rumble. And of course, don't forget the big idea here is to get more eyes on the product. And if we go with what Dave Meltzer said about The Rock, that is what he wants to do too. Doesn't care about being cheered, doesn't care about being booed. He just wants to get a bunch of numbers, then walk around to people and say, oh, hey, look, WrestleMania 40, everything is through the roof, and I was a part of that. Now, I have to wait and see that one play out on TV. Because even on Raw, when the crowd started going, Rocky sucks. I mean, Seth Rollins was surprised, Cody Rhodes was surprised, you bet your ass I was surprised. And there are a few voices out there saying, oh, well, you know, people backstage at WWE, they were surprised too. Like, they were happy for all the other madness, but nobody ever thought the fans would turn on The Rock. Just goes to show. Sometimes you don't know wrestling fans. They'll turn on anyone. It's half the reason I love them. They're so damn passionate. But as a quick asterisk, don't start ruining it and making it personal and sending death threats to people. What is wrong with you dudes? If you even have the thought to do that, you need to lie down and rethink your approach to sports entertainment. All this stuff is meant to be fun. For a good while there, it was fun. And some idiots had to go and do that. Now, I do totally get that if we do Seth versus Cody at WrestleMania 40, and Cody wins that World Heavyweight Championship, it's going to make you feel a little bit glum, and that should never be the point of a title match. But at the same time, if WrestleMania 40 can end with a big kabang, well, maybe this is salvageable. I didn't want to say that, because once again, I'm very entertained by it. Just do right by Cody. That's what I'm trying to say here. It ties into the damn hashtag, we want Cody, because we do. I can't then also say I don't want The Rock to get involved, because again, it's Shenanigans 9000. When I wake up tomorrow, all of this will probably have changed again. Even with all of that said though, there was a way more straightforward way to sort all of this out. So whatever WWE did have in mind to begin with, well, they should have slept on it and just seen what it was like in the light of day. Like, you don't ever need to allow for a nuclear bomb like this. That's exactly what they've done. I mean, the end of the story was right there, and everybody was pumped for it. Who knows? Maybe Cody will never finish his story. Then what the flub are we meant to do? I also have this big question as well. Does this mean that Dwayne Johnson or The Rock is going to be hanging around for longer than we first anticipated? I can't believe he does more than one match because of his movie commitment. But everybody does say when he signed the deal to join the WWE board, not only did he get a bunch of cash, obviously, but in that meeting, it was decided that he was at least going to have a singular fight. Now listen, there may be more coming here. We have to go with the old wrestling saying on this one, you never say never. I'm saying never. Also, for those people that want to rage in the comments, I mean, please do that anyway, because it's good for the engagement. But yes, I do totally agree with you once again. What we really should have done is Cody versus Roman Reigns with The Rock as the special guest referee. And then when the Bloodline tried to interfere, because that's what Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa always do, who is the guy to stop them? It would have been the Great One. He gives Jimmy and Jay a rock bottom. He doesn't touch Roman, because you will make Cody get the clean win. But then Rhodes does hit the crossroads on the Tribal Chief. He gets the 1, 2, 3. Meaning WrestleMania 40 ends with The Rock and Cody Rhodes celebrating together. And that is another great way to turn Cody into a superstar, and then you could do The Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania 41, or hell, just come up with a pay-per-view premium live event called Rockamania and do it there. Nobody's gonna care, because beat down people love The Rock. Of course they do. And the reason they're booing him right now is one, because they're saying Brahma Bull, people are getting confused, and two, to repeat myself, it's because they love Cody Rhodes. Till though, as always, this is the most fun I have had in professional wrestling in ages. But don't forget that there is a distraction here, and don't be distracted by it. Again, you can feel sad for Cody, but be excited about The Rock, and you can still be appalled buy this lawsuit and just throw it all into one tiny package. I mean, that's what life is all about. So keep it in your brain. More important than all of this though, make sure again you go down into the comments and let me know a couple of things. One, do you think WWE did have this plan for the start? Or are they just now retroactively trying to fix it? 2, are we going to get Roman versus The Rock at WrestleMania 40? 3, what the flub does Cody do? 4, this is the really dumb one, but we're going to ask it anyway. Is The Rock actually going to have more than one match? Or is that the stupidest thing I've ever said? Also, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe, and click the video on the screen, which will be yet more talk about all these craziness. And like I say, I know, you're such a positive Pete, it's so annoying. I totally agree with you. I really do think if you start enjoying this for what it is, you'll have a much better time. And that's the point. We all have real life problems. Don't make wrestling your biggest sad point. That's not what it's there to do. And look, Cody Rhodes is flamming brilliant. He's going to be fine anyway. And he did that tweet saying, trust me. I do trust you, Cody Rhodes, with my life. That was a little bit much. Goodbye.